Since opening in 1953, Five Flags Speedway has earned its place of one of America's most iconic short tracks. Named for nearby Pensacola, the city of Five Flags, this fast half-mile oval is famous for its 15 degrees of banking and wide sweeping corners that reward speed, precision, and bravery. While NASCAR's Grand National Series raced here in the Speedway's early years, Five Flags is best known as the home of the Snowball Derby. Since 1968, the prestigious Super Late Model Classic has crowned legends like Donnie Allison, Darrell Waltrip, Rich Bickle, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott, Eric Jones, Ty Majeski, and most recently, Caden Honeycutt. Tonight, the focus shifts from racing history to the stars of today. The stage is set for the Lorna Littrell Birthday Bash, and the Which Way is Up 100. From one of the fastest and most storied short tracks in America, racing is next on Track Limits Network. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the virtual Five Flags Speedway. I'm Steve Singer with Track Limits Network. Golden Racing League ARCA Series racing about to get underway here from Five Flags. And we're live, folks. No tape delay anymore. Let's take a look here at the race details tonight. 100 laps the distance tonight, 16% fuel on board, 23 to 27 laps, give or take. That's the fuel window. 2 sets of tires, no fast repairs, and 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish. Weather-wise, we're 77 degrees, 78% humidity, a little muggy tonight. Clear skies, 2-mile-per-hour breeze, track temp to 90. That's likely to go down here as the sun continues to set here in Florida. We're going on trackside here to see the fast times in this session. Hunter Carlson, the fastest thus far, 16.737, the lap time for the number 32. Then Paul Dillon, second quick. Dan Jones, Dan Michelle, David Warmoth, the top 5. On down the line, Dallas Sunderman, Gino Valenti, Steve Littrell, Casey Bristow, the top 10. I thank the Littrell family for sponsoring tonight's race. The Which Way is Up 100, the Lorna Littrell Birthday Bash. It's Halloween in June. We'll take it. Schedule-wise, season winding down. We've got Five Flags, of course, tonight. Then on to Iowa next week, July the 1st. And we wrap the season 100 laps at Darlington Raceway on July the 8th. Just about 45 seconds or so before the black and red flags drop down on this practice session. We'll roll right into qualifying. It'll be 5 minutes, 2 laps, whatever comes first. See who's the fastest driver here tonight. Got William Littrell in the chat. Let's go, Stephen Littrell. Go 36, and happy birthday, Lorna, on 6/29. So that'll do it for practice. Hunter Carlson will win the session. It doesn't pay any points. It doesn't pay any money, but it does pay a little bit of pride points as far as that's concerned. We'll roll into the qualifying session right now. See who takes to the Speedway first. Looks like it'll be Paul Dillon to roll off. Oh, another open qualifying session. Forgot that's how we were doing these lately. Does make it kind of fun, so it's going to be everybody and their brother out here for 5 minutes just so you can lay down a fast time. Should be getting the time here on the tower in just a moment. There it is, Dan Michelle, 17,174, then Dylan, a 5.95. As we watch Bryson Miller in the 04. Gino Volanti and the number 15. Michelle picks up his time here, 17,041. Protecting that pole position. See if he can drop down into the 16s. He's awful close, less than half a tenth away. Now Hunter Carlson goes P1, 17,006. Does he have a 16 in store? Littrell jumps up to P2, 17,009, so 0.03 of a second shy of the top spot. See if Carlson can improve and drop that number in front to a 1.6. Carlson off turn 4 will cross the line, and does he do it? He does. 16,952 for Hunter Carlson, current time to beat. Stephen Littrell still sitting on a 17,009. Dan Michelle, 16,968, so he gets up under the front row. Chris Golden running in the 6th starting position for the time being. We're in an 0.62. You gotta wonder if the trick here is just to run as many laps as you can, burn off some of that fuel, come down, bolt on a fresh set of tires, and go out and run 2 quick laps and see if you can improve. You got trouble here on the front stretch. That's the other thing you got to be concerned with here in these open qualifying sessions is your future is not set. You don't get to control your own destiny sometimes. Cars get crossed up in front of you. It kind of kills your lap. Nothing you can do about it. We got old Tom Janikowski in the chat waving the checkered flag. Just under 2 minutes remain here at Five Flags. Hunter Carlson, the time to beat, 16,952. Dan Michelle with a 968. Only 2 drivers below that 17-second category. Megan Barnes in the 41. Currently sits 9th. Minute and a half to go. Carlson back on the Speedway. Might be doing what we thought about. Bolt on some tires, burn off the fuel, don't fill it up. But as we talked about, he's in a little bit of traffic here. Stuck in behind the 75 is Shane Morris. Carlson will leap to the outside into turn number 3. I don't think this is going to help his cause, but he's got the fast time already, so that's all right. Just trying to build some insurance, and he gets caught up here. Cliff Mullins in trouble with DG Swiss. About enough time left for a couple more laps, and this session will come to a close. Hunter Carlson and Dan Michelle, the top 2. Littrell picks up the pace a little bit here, 17,004 for the 36. Seconds remain. That's Dan Michelle pulls out a miracle here. He's going to start outside front row here for the which way is up 100. That's That's it, cross the line. And Michelle, 16:968, the fast time out of the 25. We'll see the black and red flags yet again here in this Q session. So that'll do it for qualifying. It's time for our feature. The Which Way is Up 100. Let's take a look at our starting grid. On the pole position with a lap time of 16.952 seconds, it's the 32 Golden Chef Speed Chopped entry of Hunter Carlson. Outside pole, missed it by 15 thousandths of a second, the 25 of Dan Michelle. Row number 2, it's Stephen Littrell and Cliff Mullins. Row 3 belongs to David Warmoth and Casey Bristow. Row number 4, Dallas Sunderman from 4 Wide Motorsports. Chris Golden, the Golden Chef entry. He'll start 8th. Row 5, Paul Dillon and Dagan Barnes. Starting 11th, the 31 of DG Swiss. Jason Woodham will start 12th. 13th starter, it's the 69 PAW Motorsports entry of Pat Warmoth. Ryan Bittler will start 14th. Chris Bingley, 15th. 16th starter, it's Bryson Miller. 17th, the number 26 Cougar Racing entry of Nick Christ. Colton Briner will start 18th. 19th belongs to Stephen Gill. 20th, Chris Norris. 21st is Shane Morris. Dylan Manley will start 22nd. 23rd, Yogi Schlier. Gino Volanti will roll off from the 24th position. In the final row, it'll be Billy Milner in the number 19. He'll start 25th with Dan Jones to his right elbow, the last starter in 26th. It's your starting grid here for the Which Way is Up 100 from Five Flag Speedway. We're going to get rolling here momentarily. Field will cross the stripe here, finish lap 1, pace lap 1. The green flag racing the next time across the start-finish line. We'll take a second look here at the race details in case you were late and you missed it. 100 laps the distance, 16% fuel tonight, 23 to 27 laps. That could vary too. 2 sets of tires over the wall, no fast repairs, and 1 attempt at a green-white checkered finish if necessary. Field in turn number 3, double file behind the iRacing pace truck. The lights have been extinguished. We're ready to go racing here from Five Flag Speedway. There it goes. Pace truck is in. Green flag is in the air from Five Flags. Still a side-by-side battle into turn 3 between Carlson and Dan Michelle. Michelle hanging on the outside. Will have a run off the corner, but Carlson will lead lap 1 by a nose. Littrell to the 3rd spot. Mullins, Warmoth, Bristow all running through the 6th position. Nobody's changed spots just yet. Dan Michelle, though, flirting with that challenge, trying to take the top spot from Hunter Carlson. Lorna Littrell in the chat says, just so everyone knows, I'm 29. Me too, Lorna, me too. Dan Michelle, Hunter Carlson continue to duke it out here at the front of the field for that top spot. No driver seemingly able to get an edge on the other. Michelle still working the outside, has a run there off corner exit, and will actually lead the lap as they cross the line. This may be something to pay close attention to in the closing laps at the end of this race. That's all you need to cross the line by, just an inch or so, and that'll get you the race win. Don't have to clear the guy for it to count, but still a side-by-side fight here at the front of the field between 2 of the drivers that started on the front row. Hunter Carlson on pole, Dan Michelle P2. And neither driver willing to give an inch. In fact, the lap times almost mirroring each other. Michelle is 17:03, Carlson is 17:04 the last time by. This time across the stripe, not much has changed. An 0-2 to an 0-5, and then Stephen Littrell running third with an 0-3. But don't look now, Dagan Barnes back in 10th, just ran a 16.95. I think only 2 drivers even got close to that in qualifying. So keep an eye on the 41 as this race goes on, but around he goes off turn 4.
Well, you sure you got your release mark correct coming into pit road? Yes, I do, sir.
Broadcaster's curse showing its ugly face. Dagan Barnes turned a lightning quick lap previously. A little too fast maybe off turn 4. We'll see if we get a better look at it. So watch the 41 here. Doesn't look like he gets any help in this. On that flat of the racetrack, and it just starts to step out. There is a bump there on the exit of turn 4, and I think that's what bit him here. Wise enough just to lock it down as soon as he could. Yeah, he's going to get a pretty good hit there to that inside pit wall, but it's certainly not going to be a day ender for him. But he's got work to do now. He's going to come down into pit lane, and a few others will. Billy Milner, Gino Volanti among the group. Billy Milner running the 03 club racing scheme. Dagan Barnes just tops off a little bit of fuel here. Maybe checks the damage to see how bad it might be. He'll get out before the pace truck puts him down a lap. So Barnes is running 10th. He'll restart in the 20th position here as the pace truck lights extinguish. We're ready for the restart. Field in 1 and 2, doubling up as we speak. Front row is still going to be Hunter Carlson and Dan Michelle, except Michelle will now be the control car as he was credited with the race lead at the time of the 41 coming around off turn number 4. So now we'll see if Hunter Carlson can hang with the 25, except now he'll be to the right side.
Green flag.
Green is back in the air. Michelle able to hold off Hunter Carlson's advance. Able to make decisions on his own, which lane he wants to work with, and he'll take the bottom there, but smacks the wall a touch off at turn number 4. Hunter Carlson now going to keep an eye on his mirrors as the 36 to Stephen Littrell closing in, starting to challenge for that second spot. Don't count out Cliff Mullins and Casey Bristow. That top 5 has definitely got some fast drivers out here tonight. 16 laps go on the board of 100 scheduled here at Five Flags. Carlson now takes a peek back to the bottom of the racetrack. Dan Michelle cut the car off, trying to save some fuel already here at Five Flags. There he goes, cut the car off again. Lift and coast all the way through 1 and 2, back on the throttle. Last time he did it, really opened the door for Hunter Carlson to get alongside. I think Dan Michel was trying to build up a little bit more gap to try it again. Carlson there still to the back bumper. Is a big wiggle there onto the 25, off turn number 4. It's Michel, Carlson, Littrell, Mullins, and Bristow. That's your top 5 as we got 21 laps. Further down through the field, David Warmoth running in the 6th position. Started inside the top 5. Sunderman in the Oreo number 58 Chevrolet to the outside of Chris Golden. It's the battle for the 7th position. Meanwhile, we watch this battle. Dan Michel continues to lead over Carlson and Littrell, so nothing's changed at the front of the field as we're just about to hit quarter distance here at Five Flags. Continue to watch this battle here with Dallas Sunderman, Chris Golden. Now Paul Dillon in the 60 becomes part of it. 31 of DG Swiss rolling in as well. Meanwhile, Nick Christ has come to pit lane here. Might be a scheduled stop. Fuel only for the 26. He'll roll back out. Green flag pit stops underway already here at Five Flags. Now, we've had one caution, which has extended this fuel window just a tick past 25 laps. So this run, they're okay. But if we happen to run green all the way to the end, that's going to be a problem. These guys are going to need to make a late pit stop here. See if it comes to that. These short tracks don't typically produce those really long green flag runs. Usually get somebody having a problem out on the Speedway, but now the leader is in. Dan Michel, Steve Littrell, Sunderman, Golden, Swiss, Woodham, Bittler, Jones. Casey Bristow will come down. Race leader Cliff Mullins now pulls into the pit lane as well. Gas and go for Mullins. Dagan Barnes, remember him? Our one and only caution, lost it off turn number 4, crossed up sideways, and now he's the race leader. He came down into pit lane during that caution, topped off the fuel. Now he's out in front with the track position. Yes, he's going to need to stop for gas himself, but if he's lucky enough to catch a caution before that time comes, it'd be a brilliant pit call out of the 41 team. Barnes and Milner run 1 and 2. Pat Warmoth, Yogi Schlier, Gino Volanti. Chris Norris, Dylan Manley, they all made their stops around lap 9 and 10. So they do have a little bit more fuel on board, but they're getting close to being out. So they're going to have to make a stop here. Milner gets into the back of Dagan Barnes just a touch, and will now open the door to the 22 of Casey Bristow to try and get his lap back. They'll go 3 wide here off turn number 4, or will they? No, Bristow checks up. So now with the 03 of Milner at the bottom of the racetrack, he's going to need to peel off to pit, but if Dagan Barnes wants to do it, he's going to need to do just that. Get to the bottom of the racetrack. He does that. Bristow now really closing the gap in the middle of 3 and 4. Barnes stays out. Pat Warmoth will roll down pit lane. Gino Volanti on the pit lane. Bristow will get his lap back. And here comes Barnes into pit lane. Milner's going to come down with him. this will eventually cycle Dan Michelle, Hunter Carlson back to the top 2 spots. Michelle is there, Carlson's there, and Mullins leapfrogs Littrell for 3rd. So Steve Littrell back to 4th. Bristow now 5th. Remember, he got his lap back before the leaders pulled into pit lane. See where they cycle and blend back up here in just a moment. So Barnes shown in 16th on pit exit, the flat of the racetrack. He can blend now if he wants. So Barnes back to 17th. So he's gained a few positions. He was very fast while running inside the top 10 in the early stages of this race. Got crossed up off turn 4 all by himself. Spun the car, got into the pit wall just a touch, not terribly damaged. Now he's got himself a little off cycle here, which really could pay dividends here later on in this race, especially if we stay green. About 11 laps shy of halfway here at Five Flags. Dan Michelle. Close-knit neighbors yet again. I think Michelle's saving more fuel. He checked up big time. Let's go back on board with the 25. There it is. You can hear him cutting the motor off, or at least clutching the car on corner entry, the lift and coast. He's doing it both ends of the speedway now. A very effective strategy, especially on the road courses, but it can certainly be a help here on these ovals. You lift a little early, you get on the brakes a little bit later, and then you pick up the throttle again, let the clutch back out, and get back after it. But now they're running into some lap traffic, and Michelle's got a lot of pressure from Hunter Carlson here as the 88 gets into the wall just a touch. I think he's just trying to stay out of the way. Carlson's going to get the lead here. Carlson through to P1, and now Mullins going to try and take the 2nd spot from Dan Michelle. This 13 car, since he's come onto the scene, he has been fast each and every week. It's just a matter of time before we see that thing parked back in victory lane. Don't know if anything has changed on the 25 car, but he just does not seem to have the strength that he had in the earlier stages of this first half of the race. Hunter Carlson now starting to stretch his legs, almost 4/10 back to the 25. Michelle's able to hold off the charge from Cliff Mullins. Steve Littrell running in the 4th position. Lap car in between himself and the 13. I think that's the 66 of Chris Bingley. Oh, a little bit of contact there from Bingley. And Nick Crisp back on pit lane just like that. It happens that fast. So this is what I was trying to say earlier, is now you see we're less than 2 laps from halfway. If Nick runs the same fuel mileage from here to the next run, it's just going to compound the problem. He's got one more stop after this, and he may need a splash and go at the end. A lot of green flag running here. We've only had 1 caution tonight. So now the leader, Hunter Carlson, will come down to pit. And Colton Briner has crashed, I think, on entry to pit lane. He's straightened it back out. We stay green. Take a look what just happened a moment ago to the 14 of Colton Briner. A little too much rear brake, and he slides it sideways, noses into that Armco barrier, but we stay under the green flag. Now Dan Michelle in pit lane. Cliff Mullins takes over the race lead. Littrell, Bristow, Sunderman, Golden, and Paul Dillon all on the pit lane right now. They're to a point where they might be good to go to the end after just 1 more stop. So we're just about a lap past halfway here. Fuel mileage kind of averaging out about 25 to 26 laps. Michelle gasses it up, drops the clutch, heads back out on the speedway. So Cliff Mullins from the lead. He'll now make his pit stop as he loses some connection there. DJ Swiss leaving the pits right now in the number 31 alongside Dan Jones. Haven't seen anybody opt for any tires, I don't think. Billy Milner may have taken tires. It was a long stop, 15.02 seconds. Has not been a ton of fall off here tonight. Maybe about a second. So as we saw in the last run, Tegan Barnes cycles back to the race lead with a fuel strategy that's going to get him a little bit further right now. Tell you, doing a little bit of math in my head here, if we do run green to the end, this could cycle Barnes to the lead on that final late pit stop for guys needing to make a splash and go. Oh, but that's going to go out the window as we got a caution and Cliff Mullins is in it. So is Hunter Carlson. I think Pat Warmoth got caught out in that as well, but there it is, the caution on the Speedway, but Tegan Barnes going to take full advantage and pit under yellow. So all that track position gain, now there's a bunch of cars that have been put a lap down, so Tegan Barnes really got himself back into a position kind of where he was prior to his spin. And he'll have an opportunity here. I think he may end up taking tires. There it is. Going to be brand new General tires, probably all the way around on the number 41 Chevrolet. So DG Swiss now, you're the race leader. And he's just recently made a stop as well, about 5 laps ago. Will he come back down? I think he's going to try and top it up here. Or is this an opportunity to bolt on some tires? Cliff Mullins will come down, so is Hunter Carlson. This may be due to their accident. Don't see a lot of damage, if any, to the 13. Carlson looks pretty good too. So let's take a look. Our second caution of the night, Dan Michel gets into the wall on the exit of turn 4, just kind of pancakes it. Steve Littrell looking for an opening here down into turn 1. And Mullins had a run, but checks up to avoid getting into the 25. Littrell can't get on the brake fast enough. Kind of a chain reaction crash here, and I think they're both going to get away without any significant contact. Just a little bump on the right rear for the 32. So we're trying to get the field set here for the restart. Tegan Barnes will be shown as the leader, I believe. Yogi Schlier will be second. Or is it the other way around? I think maybe Yogi will be the control car on the bottom.
All right, holding the 1 to go.
They're going to wave it off here, try to get these guys lined out where they need to be. David Warmoth in the chat says, iRacing is messed up. That is unfortunately a glitch that we see very often. The caution comes out in the middle of a green flag cycle on these small racetracks. We're going to try and get it worked out here, so stick around. We are going to take a side-by-side break and get that out of the way while they figure out the lineup. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified in Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Five Flags Speedway, 67 laps complete here in Pensacola. Steve Littrell leads the 41 of Dagan Barnes, Hunter Carlson, Dan Michelle, Yogi Schlier. Though David Warmuth in the chat saying something is going on with iRacing. I'm not sure of the details of that as to what exactly it is that is going on. I know we had a little issue there trying to get the lineup correct on the restart. Hopefully we get some more details to that, David, if you're willing to share. Littrell now in charge, a half-second advantage over the 41 of Barnes. Cliff Mullins running in the 6th position. 30 laps to go here, so one more stop to come. I don't think anybody can stretch the fuel that far. The question is, do you wait for the caution to come out? Or do you pit kind of in the middle? Or do you wait for the very bitter end? Do a quick splash and go with maybe 4 or 5 to go. Yogi Schlier working the outside around Casey Bristow and Cliff Mullins. These are all positions. The battle for 5th right now. And the caution is out again. Gino Valenti, I think, may be involved in this. And maybe Dylan Manley. We'll see what happened. Caution number 3 on the night here at Five Flags. '96 gets into the back of the 75. Shane Morris and a big hit there for the 15 of Valenti. Nick Christ will take some damage on that as well, but he'll be able to drive away. So that's multifaceted, I think. It looked like the 75 caught the inside wall on entry, kind of got him crossed up. Didn't get back to the gas in time. It broke his rhythm, and then the 96 got into the back of him, and the chain reaction was on from there. So pit lane open. This might be enough. This should be enough to get everybody to the end on fuel at this point. Steve Littrell, Dan Michelle, Hunter Carlson, Casey Bristow, Dagan Barnes, your top 5. They made a pit stop here at lap 74 as we work lap 75 behind the pace truck. And lights go out, so we're ready to go. 1 to go to green. The next time by, we'll be back racing. It'll be lap 77 of 100. Steve Littrell trying to get a birthday win for Lorna Littrell. He's got some tough customers to fend off here. Dan Michelle, Casey Bristow, and Hunter Carlson as the green flag is back out. Littrell with about 4/10 back to the 25 with Dan Michelle. Casey Bristow still battling with Hunter Carlson for the third spot. Carlson on the bottom in that black, white, and purple number 32. Slides up the racetrack, keeps it off the left rear. Maybe some contact. Bristow into Michelle. He's got one eye on the mirror and one out the windshield. 20 laps to go the next time by for Steve Littrell. And he's loving to see this in the rearview mirror. Second place being contested. Really thought Carlson was going to sneak it up the bottom there, make it 3 wide. I don't know if he could get away with that here, but he thought about it. Littrell still out 4/10. Michelle able to hold off Casey Bristow with that battle not going away anytime soon. And Michelle just on the power so much sooner than Bristow. It carry all that momentum down the straightaway, but Bristow able to keep it right there. The straight's just not quite long enough to take full advantage for Dan Michelle. They'll stay side by side into 300. Carlson, he's scratching his head. He's like, I don't know where to go with this. Doesn't matter if I got a faster car right now. I got no lane to utilize. But now Cliff Mullins creeping up the back bumper of the 32. He's going to have the same problem. 15 laps to go the next time by, and still this battle for second continues, but I dare say they might even be running down Littrell just ever so slightly. Last lap for the 36, a 17:44. Bristow, while battling, was a 38. Michelle and Mullins both in the fence off turn 4. Mullins gets into the back of the 25 in the middle of 3 and 4. Gets him a little crossed up. We'll give Bristow an opportunity, and Mullins goes back after him again. More contact, and Michelle hangs onto it. Cliff Mullins now to the outside. 3 wide off turn number 2. Hunter Carlson on the bottom. Dan Michelle takes exception, gives him a little contact back. They're still 3 wide off 4. Michelle gets clear. Big battle here. If we're going to catch another yellow, it'll be right in this part of the racetrack. The 25 to 32 back at it side by side. Mullins loses some ground to allow the 31 of DG Swiss to get caught up. Bristow, though, getting larger in the rearview mirror of Steve Littrell. Carlson gets by on the inside. He'll take third. So Dan Michelle to fourth, Mullins fifth, DG Swiss running in the 6th spot. Nine more laps for Littrell. Can he hang on and secure a victory here at Five Flags? Bristow, though, here comes Cliff Mullins. He has been out of the gate fast here since this last restart, really charging around the 22 of Bristow. Gets clear into turn number 1. Sets his sights now on Steven Littrell. It'll be 7 to go, and they get back to the line. Can Steve hang on to this? He had a 4/10 plus advantage back to second the last time by. Now it's down to less than 2/10. Cross start finish. Cliff Mullins, he's there. Mullins takes a look to the outside. Throws it into turns 3 and 4. He's going to have a whale of a run on corner exit. Back to the line. Littrell leads it, but will he lead the next time? It's 6 laps remaining here at Five Flags Speedway. Littrell, Mullins, side by side off turn 2. Littrell drove it in deep, washes up the racetrack. Maybe a little bit of incidental contact with Mullins, but Mullins still unable to get clear. Has that preferred line, though. He'll have the run on corner exit. Just needs to beat him by an inch. We talked about this in the early stages of this race. Mullins now clear, but still uses the high lane. Doesn't swap down in front of Littrell. 4 laps to go for Cliff Mullins now. As they run, it's Mullins, Littrell, Carlson, Dan Michel, Paul Dillon now up into the 5th spot. Mullins just a few hundredths of a second quicker than the 36th the last time by, but he'll see it 2 laps to go. Cross start finish line for Cliff Mullins. Can Littrell run him back down? Can he put on the charge? Meanwhile, Nick Christ will come to pit lane. Likely out of fuel. Cliff Mullins in turns 3 and 4, looking for the white flag. There it is, final lap from Pensacola. Mullins started in the second row from the 4th position. A whale of a run, just powers through the field. Coming off turn number 4, he will win it here in Pensacola. Cliff Mullins, your winner. Hunter Carlson comes home second. Dan Michel will take third. Littrell falls back to the 4th spot. Cliff Mullins only led 10 laps. Mullins is waiting to light him up here. This is it. Well, a muted celebration here for Cliff Mullins. We'll step out, get a break out of the way. We'll be back with our top 3 after this. Stay with us. Spartan Transportation and Spartan Logistic Management is your one source for all your shipping needs. 53-foot dry van shipments, auto transport shipments, full-service in-house brokerage, drop-lot facilities, just-in-time deliveries to all auto manufacturers, facilities in St. Louis, Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, and Indianapolis, Indiana. Spartan Logistics, LLC, proud sponsor of the IROC Series, Kyle Steffens UMP Modified and Silver Crown Driver, and Gordy Gundaker, World of Outlaws Late Model. Visit us at spartan-logistics.net or find us on Facebook. Back at Five Flags Speedway, the Which Way is Up 100 in the books of the Golden Racing League. Cliff Mullins rocketing through at the very last minute. Let it have 10 laps here tonight. Secures the victory. We'll see if we get a word to the driver of that number 13 machine. Pull him up into the Track Limits broadcast booth. Cliff, it's Steve with TLN. You got us?
Yeah, got you, man.
Cliff, congratulations, man. I don't know if you were just saving all race long until it was really time to go, but you seem like you had about 25 extra horsepower out there and about 5-inch wider tires. Walk us through the closing laps of this. After that final pit stop, you had a rocket ship for a race car.
Yeah, kind of just trying to play the numbers game there a little bit and get as long as of a run as I could and stretch the fuel as much as I could in order to keep it, roughly 25 laps-ish. So, kind of had a pretty good idea of what I was going to do tire-wise. I was waiting until we got a caution to actually take 4 tires, and damn if I want the caution. So, took 4 tires at that point, and then when we got right there on that last one, I saw everybody taking fuel, and I was like, I'm going right sides. I was going to go 4, but I said, no, we're just going to do right sides here, and I think that was the difference for me. I knew I could save enough fuel just with how I was driving the track, kind of lifting midway down the straightaways in order to get the car to rotate in the center. But I found a little something out there on that outside line too, and it just seemed like everybody just clogged up the bottom trying to save fuel, and I just ripped it around the top on them. And I thought Steven was going to have me there for a minute. Like I knew he had the better line, but I think he was a little short on fuel too, so he was having to save a lot. So it worked out to where I just had enough fuel there at the end. Didn't even get to do a burnout. Ran out of fuel before I could do one.
Those right side tire only, that stop there, did that help the car rotate a little bit to kind of free it up?
Yeah, it did, but I think it really helped me to be able to carry enough center speed in the on that second lane. Like as soon as I got up there, it just took off. It was way faster than it was on the bottom, and I rode the bottom most of the race anyway, just saving. And once it was go time, I hit it to the outside and just took off.
Well, took off, you certainly did. You pick up the victory here tonight at Pensacola Five Flag Speedway. 2 more races to go. Next week we roll into Iowa Speedway. I'd say it's kind of like a bigger Richmond, if you will. How do you change your strategies for that place? Obviously, fuel always going to be a concern, but a bigger racetrack, higher speeds. What are your thoughts on picking up another win next week?
Well, I mean, for me, with starting this season so late, I'm only trophy hunting at this point, so we're going to go do everything we can to get that win. I think tires are going to be really important in Iowa. It's notorious for chewing up tires, so I think it's going to be another one of those. See where you can get a tire advantage on people. Fuel will probably be a bit of a play in it too, but I think tires are going to be most important there.
All right, Cliff. Well, a job well done here tonight. Is there anyone you want to shout out to before we let you go?
Yeah, I got to thank Pinnacle Trailer Sales, Curly's Gun, Wild Horse, Low Drag Esports, C2X, AC Racing Graphics, Adam Crozier for painting up this car. Midnight Performance. I've got 13 on the side of it because my son's lucky number. So Jaron, Emily, my daughter, my wife Alicia, all of them for putting up with me and having my moody days of not being able to get wins, and I finally get one over here, so it feels good to be able to get one.
All right, Cliff. Well, job well done, man. Congratulations. Enjoy it. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck next week in Iowa.
Yeah, thank you, buddy.
Cliff Mullins, your race winner here at Five Flags. Next, we'll talk to the pole sitter, Hunter Carlson. Just one short here tonight. We'll see what the 32 has to say. Hunter Carlson, Steve with Track Limits Network. You got us?
Yes, I do.
Hunter, congratulations, man. Pole position, a fast lap in qualifying. Fast car in the early running here, but was it strategy? Was it tires? Was it fuel? What was the difference maker here tonight for you to finish P2?
A lot of it was just timing. I wish I went to the top when Cliff did, because I felt like it probably could have been just a reverse finish, because we're both trying to manage fuel at the end, and we're pretty similar on tires. But I mean, all in all, it just came to I got stuck behind the 22 and the 26, and just couldn't get around him, and Cliff got the run on me, and I had no choice but to follow him after that.
Well, a second place finish still solid in anybody's book. I know it stings a little bit with the pace that you had, but we can only look forward now. Iowa Speedway next week, a bigger racetrack, kind of lays out a little bit like Richmond, but what changes approach-wise when you go from this small half mile out to Iowa next week?
Rhythm, really. It takes a complete different type of focus compared to here, especially with the set we had tonight. You're more so just trying to white knuckle it around there, just trying to get around the track the best you can. I was a little different. You just gotta hit your marks, be as smooth as possible, and just try to save as much tire as you can. But all in all, I mean, I love Richmond. I love Iowa. Two of my favorite tracks. So I'm hoping to have some good speed like I did tonight.
All right, Hunter. Well, we're looking forward to it ourselves. It should be a good one here as we get closer and closer to the end of this Golden Racing League season. Before we let you go, though, who do you want to thank?
I want to thank Chris Golden for allowing me to be part owner and a house car for Golden Chef Speed Shop. It's been an honor. I love it. Eastern Technical Designs, Tracy Brown, Wayne Can over there at Speedway Motorsports for allowing me to admin over there, and D-Spain Body Shop for sponsoring the T2 every year over here in Illinois. Real long-standing relationship there, and 213simware.com if you want some good sim racing merch. All
right, Hunter. Well, thanks for talking to us, man. Good luck next week.
Thank you.
Hunter Carlson, P2 here at Five Flags Speedway. We had Dan Michel available in the waiting room, but maybe he lost some patience and he took off because I don't have him anymore. But either way, a solid run out of the 25 of Dan Michel. Battled there with the pole sitter Hunter Carlson in the early first 25 laps or so of that run. Really great battle. Hung in there, top three all night long, and he'll settle for that third position here tonight. With that said, we're done with the interview portion of tonight's broadcast. Let's take a look here at our race results. We, of course, talked to our top three, or top two in this case, Cliff Mullins and Hunter Carlson. Dan Michel finishes in the third spot. Stephen Littrell, fourth. Casey Bristow comes home in the fifth spot. DG Swiss was sixth. Yogi Schlier was seventh. Chris Golden, eighth. Dan Jones comes home in the ninth spot. Paul Dillon was 10th. Chris Norris finishes in the 11th position. 12th went to Billy Milner, 13th Dagan Barnes, Dallas Sunderman was 14th, Colton Briner 15th, 16th finisher was Chris Bingley, Pat Warmoth was 17th, Nick Christ, he ran out of gas late, he'll finish in the 18th spot, Dylan Manley was 19th, 20th place finisher was Jason Woodham. Further on down the line, 21st Shane Morris, 22nd Gino Volanti, he'll be 19 laps down. Stephen Gill, 23rd. David Warmoth, 24th. 25th, Ryan Bittler. And 26th will be Bryson Miller. I don't think Bryson took the green flag here tonight, but he'll take 26 place points. That'll do it for us here at Five Flag Speedway in Pensacola. Another clean race for the most part here in the Golden Racing League. Looking for more of that in the next couple of races. Again, Iowa Speedway next week. We'll be here live again here at Track Limits Network. No more tape delay for the rest of this season. Next couple of races, of course, tonight being live as well. Certainly appreciate you guys in the stream chat, all the viewers out there, and happy birthday, Lorna Littrell. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you at the next one. Have a good night.